Okay, thank you all for coming. Today I'm going to be talking about how stress actually alters your memory. So, did that really happen by me? A couple of weeks ago, I was on my way to work and I got sideswiped by a semi-truck. He got me pretty good, front to back. This is my mirror. It was completely shattered and also torn off my car. And the police officer came, and when I went to give him my statement, I told him the only thing I could confidently remember was that the trailer of the semi-truck was blue. That was the only thing. And turns out the trailer was actually white. So it got me thinking, and I was like, why did I remember that differently? So today I'm going to be talking about how stress alters your memories. First, I'm going to talk about what happens to your brain during stress. Then I'm going to talk about how stress alters your attention and perception. And then I'm going to talk about how stress actually alters your memory storing. So, what happens to the brain during stressful events? There are two types of stressful events: chronic stressors and acute stressors. Chronic are over long periods of time, like something that would take days or months or even years. It would be like a big debt or a big vacation you're planning. And acute would be very small, and your body returns to homeostasis or resting very quickly after. And that's from the 2025 McGraw-Hill Health and Wellness textbook. And so right when this happens, right when you have an acute stressor, you go into fight or flight, and your hypothalamus sends messages to your pituitary gland and your adrenal glands. And your adrenal glands release hormones called epinephrine and cortisol, which are also adrenaline. As adrenaline starts going through your body, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, and your lungs actually open and expand to let you have more air. And sugars and fats are released into your bloodstream, so you have more energy. And your senses, like your sight and your hearing and your smell, actually increase. So if you're anything like me, you're thinking, Paisley, if your senses are sharper during a stressful event, why is your memory worse instead of better? And so now I'm going to talk about how stress alters your attention and perception. So attention is what you focus on. So like right now you're focused on me. If I asked you to tell me what room number we're in, you probably couldn't tell me because right now you're focused on me. And stress changes this because you focus only on what is necessary for survival. So like I would have only focused on the trailer that was coming at me. And that's from Stoicki in 2022. He did a study. Perception is how you interpret something. So say we're sitting in a class and we're both focused on the professor, but I find the lecture incredibly boring and you find it really interesting. That's perception. And perception changes a lot due to stress. So you fill in details faster and make more assumptions. So for me, the cab of the semi was actually blue and the trailer was white. But instead of taking the time to register the color of the trailer, my brain just filled in the last color that I saw, and then I focused on getting out of the way. And your emotional bias also increases, which makes things seem scarier or bigger or more exciting than they actually are. Oh, and that was from Zhang and Arnaud 2022. They did a study on that. And so now we know how stress alters our view and translation of events, but how does it actually alter our memory? So normal memory storing, simplified of course, the prefrontal cortex is taking in everything around you. Like right now it's taking in how the seat you're sitting on feels, it's taking in what I'm saying and maybe the graphics I'm using, and it's sending all this information to your hippocampus, which is kind of like a secretary for your brain. It organizes things into memory, and you can think of normal memory storing as like a video recording. But when you're stressed, your hippocampus actually shuts off, and all your information goes to your amygdala, which is in charge of your stress memory storing. And instead of one long video, it's like snapshots. And later when you go to fill in those snapshots, instead of using facts, you use emotion and assumptions, which obviously isn't as trustworthy. And that is all from the Cleveland Clinic. And so as you're going through stressful events, your memories actually change. So like I've talked about, first we covered how your body reacts to stress, then we talked about how stress alters your attention and your perception, and then we talked about how stress actually alters your memory storing. And I genuinely, truly hope from the bottom of my heart that none of you get into a stressful, memory-altering situation soon, but if you do, just give yourself a little grace if the details are kind of fuzzy.